This is part 2 of my video game library showcase. In this part, I'll be going through my emulator library. Basically, all the games I can play via emulation. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, starting off with arcade game, in this case, since I only have one arcade game, and that would be Time Crisis Deluxe. Yeah, that's it. Now on to GBA. Now for GBA, I have Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising, DKC 1 through 3, European ROMs for some reason. I need to get the fucking US versions. What's funny is, though, this one is European, but what box art is shown? The US version. And I know it's the US version since it has the ESRB rating on it. That is the actual cover. That's the correct cover. Also the correct cover because it has the PEGI ratings. Anyway, next up is Fire Emblem, otherwise known as Blazing Sword. Fire Emblem Binding Blade, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Mega Man in Bass. Don't know why I have this fucking version. When I should be having the far superior. I think I might have the superior Super Nintendo version. We'll get there. But I don't recommend this version. Anyway, Metroid Zero Mission. Pretty good. It's a pretty good remake of the original one. It actually replaces the original, in my opinion. I can't go back to the original NES version after playing this one. Metroid Fusion. Yeah, I already gave my thoughts on the physical part in part 1, so Pac-Man Collection. I didn't give my thoughts on this one during the physical part, so overall, this one's a good collection. Pac-Mania is probably Pac Attack's probably my favorite in the collection. Pokemon next is Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Leaf Green. I own this physically. I forgot to show it off when I was showing off Pokemon Dash because I forgot to open that case as well. Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, Sonic Advance, Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Tetris Worlds. That's it for GBA. Now onto the Nintendo Game Boy Color. So for Game Boy Color, Donkey Kong Country, Link's Awakening DX, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, Metal Gear Solid, otherwise known as Metal Gear Ghost Babel Outside of the West, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition, and Tetris DX. And that's it for GBC, so on to the original Game Boy. Now for original Game Boy, I have Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's Dream Land 2, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Metroid 2 Return of Samus, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins, Tetris World. Well, Tetris, I don't know why I read the region. I don't do that. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. And that's it for Game Boy. Now, on to Nintendo GameCube. So for GameCube, I have Everything or Nothing. I already gave my thoughts in part 1. 007 From Russia with Love. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Just the fact that they got fucking Sean Connery himself to reprise the role. That's what's astonishing about this game. Animal Crossing. Army Men RTS. It's a decent RTS game. Not too bad. Personally, though, if I'm going to play this game at all, I'm going to go play the PC version. I don't know. RTS games just feel better on PC. Army Men Sarge's War. Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. You know, the one. This is the version that doesn't have the goddamn obnoxious load times. I have actually never beaten this game, so I can't give a full opinion on it. F-Zero GX. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Twilight Princess. Luigi's Mansion. I've actually beaten this one, so I could give my thoughts on this one. Overall, the game was pretty good, but pretty damn short. Mario Kart Double Dash. Mega Man Anniversary Collection, Mega Man X Collection, MGS The Twin Snakes, both discs. Yeah, this is a good remake. This is a good game. It's not a bad game on its own, but as a remake, no, well, it's odd because there's some quality of life improvements, but in terms of story, I choose to ignore this version and just stick with the original Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. Oh, we'll get there, trust me. Anyway, next is Metroid Prime, Pac-Man World 2, RE1 Remake, both discs, Code Veronica X, both discs, RE2, RE4, both discs. Ugh, Shadow the fucking shithog. Okay, this one, I don't think I'm ever going to beat. Ever, because, the repetitive mission structure, just the whole concept, the story fucking sucks in this game. Like, this game just fucking sucks. I call it Shadow the Shithog for a reason. Ugh. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Ugh. Better game than Shadow the Shithog. Sonic Heroes, I don't have an opinion on this one since I've never actually played it. Soul Calibur 2. GameCube version's the best version. Fight me on that. Why is it the best? You could play as Link. End of story. And then the demo. Star Fox Assault, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And that's it for GameCube. Now, on to the Nintendo 3DS. So, for 3DS, I have Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo Edition, Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. Oh my god, the soundtrack in this one is so fucking good. I actually have the full 5-disc set on my phone. It's so good. Fire Emblem Warriors, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, a neutered remake. Like, don't get me wrong, there are there's like, I want to say one good quality of life change for this one. Two. The addition of the 7th bottle, and the revamped Song of Double Time. Other than that, this game's difficulty was neutered, and then certain abilities were broken, like the Deku Link hopping. I'm aware that there's cheats for this version, only usable with a modded 3DS or Citra. Honestly, that's how I play most of these games, is Citra. Well, with some exceptions, we'll get there. But overall, if I'm going to stick with one version, I'm probably going to play the Redux version, which I'll explain in the next section of this library showcase. So, next game, Metroid Samus Returns. It's pretty good so far. I'm literally in the beginning area, so overall, from what I've played so far, it's pretty good. It's not a bad game. Project X Zone. This was one I really was interested in back when I got my 3DS. As I downloaded a demo, I could not stop playing that demo. It was so interesting. I still need to fucking sit my ass down and actually play this one. Okay, this one refuses to run on Citra. Star Fox 64 3D. Good thing I have it physically, but as I stated in the previous part, my R button is fucked, and you need the R button to be able to bank right. So, I can't even play this version properly, so fuck me, right? Next, final game, Ocarina of Time 3D. And that's it for 3DS. Now, on to my very first home console. Well, the first console I've ever played, the Nintendo 64. So for N64, I've got 007, The World Is Not Enough, Armament Surges Heroes, and its sequel, Surges Heroes 2, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Beetle Adventure Racing, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64. Oh, this game, oh my fucking god, this game. Like, when it comes to platforming, this game ain't that bad. But it's the process of collecting everything. Even if you're just playing the game fucking normally, even if you're not going for 100%, it's still a chore to fucking play through. Not compounded is the fact that compounding the issue is also the fact that you have to fucking backtrack numerous fucking times. And by Frantic Factory, tedious. And then the fucking Nintendo coin. No, that's where I lost my shit, and I just stopped playing the fucking game. The fucking Nintendo coin requires you to beat the entirety of Donkey Kong in one life. Look, I'm all for classic Easter eggs like that, but when it's forced, when you're forced to fucking play it just for the sake of beating the game, not even completing it, beating the game, that's where the game can go fuck itself. That and the stupid races too. The stupid races. It isn't enough to fucking win the race. You also have to collect coins on top of that. So, no, that's just unnecessary padding, in my opinion. That's bullshit. And then I have Tag Anywhere. While this one does fix one of the major issues of the game, and that having to go back to the tag barrel multiple fucking times, you could just swap it with the tap of the L button. But that doesn't fix the Nintendo coin, nor the bullshit races. So, yeah. This game overall, massive fucking chore to complete. Even just beat. So, next game. I've ranted long enough. Doom 64? Dr. Mario 64, Excite Bike 64, F-Zero X, GoldenEye. I like this one, but it's kind of jank. Mainly, oh my god, I could play this fine with mouse and keyboard on fucking 1964, but god damn it, the amount of technical issues just turns me away. I literally had a fucking stream for Sway, actually. Since I manage that channel, since, I'm the leader of Sway, as you should well already know at this point because of my channel art and shit. But I digress. Like, I literally fucking was like, no, too many technical issues. Fuck this. Ugh. I need to look into resolving those. Anyway, next game. Jet Force Gemini. I got this for a good deal. I didn't go into the price where I got this physically. Actually, no, I think I put that in. So I put that in text. But to quickly just say it, I paid like $15 for this game at Gamers Anonymous. So I mean, that wasn't a bad deal. This was one I've always wanted to fucking own ever since I saw the damn Hot News 64 Promo VHS back in the early 2000s, since I was born in 99. Literally 4 days after before the Dreamcast came out in North America. So if I was born 4 days later than I really was, fuck. I could technically say the Dreamcast is my birth console. In all technicality, I kind of could say that, since it did release in like 4 days after I was born. But that's enough about the Dreamcast. We'll get there, trust me. So yeah, Jet Force Gemini, pretty good game. Hard son of a bitch though. It's a fun challenge though. And then a hacked version of Jet Force Gemini, which basically unlocks you have all the weapons and you have rapid fire as well as infinite ammo. Broken version, but hey, maybe I'll play after I tackle the original and complete it. Yeah, because this is a game that requires you to complete it to beat it. It's one of those games. A hard son of a bitch, but has excellent presentation and music. So, next game, Killer Instinct Gold. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards? Ah, yes. I have this game physically, but I did not give my thoughts on it, so I'm gonna be brief with these thoughts because one day I'm probably gonna do a review show on this channel one day. So I'll keep it brief. So, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, my favorite 3D Zelda game in the entire fucking series. Why? The world of Termina is far more interesting than Ocarina of Time's overworld. That and the characterization is so deep and has good dialogue. And just the overall tone appeals to me for some reason. I fucking love this game. But honestly, if I were to play one version of Majora's Mask, if I had to choose one version for the rest of my life to play, it probably wouldn't be the original version. It would be the Redux version, which I'll get there in a second. So, next game, Master Quest version of Majora's Mask. Never tried this one. I plan on doing it one day. Ah, yes, the version of Majora's Mask that I'll actually stick with. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Redux. It's basically Ocarina of Time Redux, but with the transformation masks on the D-pad as well as the Ocarina. That and actually getting to push blocks faster, climb ladders faster, just climb in general faster. Like, there's so many good quality of life improvements with this version. And it's on the actual console, so, I mean, come on. Can't go wrong with that. And speaking of Ocarina of Time, yes, my very, very first fucking game I ever played. Actually, I'll save you time and just tell you, go watch the previous part if you want to hear that story. Well, actually, no, I'll save it for when I review this game. Anyway, and Master Quest for Ocarina of Time, yes, this is a special debug edition. It says so right there on the box. Yeah, not their custom box, sort of. I didn't make that, though. Someone else did. I don't know who, though. Anyway, Ocarina of Time Redux. Yep, this game. 7 episodes in, burnt the fuck out. I'll probably do it one day, but I'll probably do it on my channel. Anyway, next game. Mario Golf, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party Trilogy, Mario Tennis, Mega Man 64. Although personally, I really should get rid of this one since this one's kind of redundant because I have the original PS1 version, which I prefer over this one. It's because of the higher audio quality. Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, Namco Museum 64, The New Tetris, Paper Mario, Perfect Dark, the Japanese version. I have the Japanese version because this one actually runs a little faster than the North American version since bodies disappear after some time. Perfect Dark USA, the original, this is a 1.0 version. Pilot Wing 64, Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Snap, Stadium 1 and Stadium 2, Sin and Punishment Successor of the Earth, Japanese only exclusive, Smash Remix, a ROM hack of Smash that adds several new characters, including Marth. I'd probably, I don't really remember from the top of off the top of my head because I haven't played this one in a while. Star Fox 64, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Bros., Wave Race 64 Kawasaki Jet Ski, Windback Hover Operations, WWF Attitude, WWF No Mercy, the best wrestling game on the N64, WWF Warzone, and WWF WrestleMania 2000. And that's it for Nintendo 64. Now, onto the Nintendo DS. So for the DS, I have Animal Crossing Wild World, Fire Emblem New Mystery of the Emblem, fan translation. Yeah, that's a common theme, especially in the Super Nintendo list. We'll get there. Fire Emblem, the New Mystery of the... anyway, I already said that. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, Kirby Superstar Ultra, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All and Trials and Tribulations, Tetris DS, and I also have Resident Evil Deadly Silence on here as well. So that's it for DS games. Now, alright, so on to the Nintendo Entertainment System. So for the NES, I have Castlevania, Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Classics, Dr. Mario, Duck Hunt, DuckTales, Earthbound Beginnings, the Easy Patch, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light. Fuck, that's a mouthful. Fan translation. Fire Emblem Gaiden, Freedom Force, Hogan's Alley, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, The Legend of Zelda, Mega Man Hexology, Shuttle Gear. Yeah, this port's not fucking... This port's shit. I should probably get rid of it. Even Kojima himself doesn't like this version. Oy, you know that's bad. When the original creator himself says this version is bad. Metroid, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Pac-Man, Shit's Revenge. I'm glad those two ports, glad the two Metal Gear NES games aren't fucking canon. Super Mario Bros. 1 through 3, Wild Gunman, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. That's it for the Nintendo. Now on to its successor, the Super Nintendo. So for the Super Nintendo, I've got Pretty Guardian Sailor, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, Another Story, fan translation. Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, Donkey Kong Country, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, Earthbound, F-Zero, Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem, fan translation, Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War, the Project Naga translation, Fire Emblem Thracia 776, fan translation, Killer Instinct, Kirby's Superstar, Kirby's Avalanche, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby's Dream Land 3, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Lethal Enforcers, Mario Paint, Mega Man 7, Mega Man X, X2, X3, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Panel de Pon, Star Fox, Street Fighter 2: The World Warrior, Super Back to the Future Part 2. This one's pretty obscure, but this one's also pretty good. Also, the music slaps in this. Yeah, the music slaps in this version. In this game. Anyway, next game. Super Castlevania 4. Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. Super Mario Kart. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Super Mario World. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Super Metroid. The third Metroid game I've ever beaten. Super Punch-Out. Super Scope 6. Super Star Wars. Although I don't know why it's not called Super Star Wars: A New Hope. You know, to fit with the other games in the trilogy. Speaking of which, Super Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, Super Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Fun fact, I actually own all three of these physically. But as I stated in part 1, I don't feel like going in the fucking garage to dig for them, so yeah. Tetris Attack, which is just basically localized Panel de Pon, calling it what it is. And Toy Story, a hard son of a bitch. This game is fucking difficult. Oh my god, it's so difficult. I mean, it's not so difficult when you get used to the controls, but that's just it, the controls. Anyway, that's it for Super Nintendo. Now, onto my sort of birth console, sort of not, the Sega Dreamcast. I only say that because, well, I already stated my piece, I don't need to state it again. Anyway, Armament Sarge's Heroes, Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Resident Evil Code Veronica both discs, Silent Scope, Sonic Adventure, Adventure 2, Soul Calibur, and one of my favorites on the console, Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. I cannot get enough of this game. It was actually the game I did for the Sway May the 4th stream. Yeah, I don't expect anyone to watch that one. That one's not one of my better streams. I'll say that right now. Anyway, that's it for Sega Dreamcast. Now, on to the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis if you're in North America. So, for the Genesis, I have Home Alone, Mega Man: The Wily Wars, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the true Sonic 3, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And that's it for Sega Genesis. Now, On to Sega's greatest North American blunder, the Sega Saturn. No, I only say that because of the Sega Saturn launch. Oy, what the hell were they thinking? Anyway, for the Saturn, I've got Nights into Dreams, Sonic 3D Blast, game I actually have physically, Sonic Jam, Sonic R, and Virtua Fighter. That's it for the Sega consoles. Now onto Sony, starting with the Sony PlayStation 2. The world's best-selling home console still, even today. Now for this console, I have Bully. Basically, it's it's like baby's Grand Theft Auto, essentially. Yeah, that's how I could describe it. It's basically Grand Theft Auto, but instead of a city, you go to school. I like this game. This is an obscure ass game that deserves a sequel, Rockstar. If your ass is if one of you fucks is watching, God of War, Godfather the game, GTA Vice City, my favorite PS2 GTA title. It's the 80s aesthetic for me. I fucking love the aesthetic of this game. That and so Self-Control is one of my favorite songs only because of this game. So many 80s so many classic 80s tunes in this game. It's so awesome. That and it also is sort of like my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, Scarface. Yeah, I'm talking the 83 version, not the original. I know the 83 version is a remake, but I prefer the remake more than the original. Anyway, but I digress. So, next game, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, MGS3 Subsistence, Disc 1, Scarface, The World Is Yours. It's basically a what if Tony didn't die at the end of the movie. That's basically what this game is. Star Wars Battlefront. I think this might be the PS2 game I've spent the most time on, is Battlefront 2. Yeah, the original version, not the EA one. I've never played that version. Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. That's the last game I have. And yesterday I actually got my hands on the original Kingdom Hearts, mostly just to test it out on my new Moto 5 stylus, Moto G stylus 5G 20. It's the 2022 model. If you guys were wondering, but yeah, overall that actually ran pretty damn well. I was surprised because I did not expect PS2 emulation to work on that phone, but yeah, I actually have the test footage. I might actually publish that. Or I may have already published it. I'm not sure. As I'm recording this at a time where I haven't done either, so yeah. So that's it for PS2. Now, on to the Sony PlayStation Portable. My very first handheld that I've actually owned myself. So, for that console, I've got Castlevania The Dracula X Chronicles, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, GTA Chinatown Wars, GTA Liberty City Stories, GTA Vice City Stories, Lego Batman the Video Game, Lego Indiana Jones The Original Adventures, Lego Star Wars 2 The Original Trilogy, Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, Mega Man Powered Up, Metal Gear Acid 2. Alright, I have these games physically, but I did not give my thoughts on either one. And I've beaten both of them in the past. So, Metal Gear Acid, although it's not the standard Metal Gear thing, I actually enjoyed it. However, I don't really go back to this one. Why? The gameplay is pretty fucking tedious when compared to the legendary sequel Metal Gear Acid 2. Oh my god, the gameplay is so much faster in this game. And, best of all, you don't have to fucking stop on card pickups to pick them up. You can just walk over them like any other normal game. Ugh, this game is so goddamn tedious. But this one, I actually like, and I enjoy the soundtrack far more. Yeah, I'll go into more detailed thoughts later on with these games. I'm only giving brief thoughts here, just so that way, I could end up making my eventual reviews. Oh shit. So next game, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Portable Ops, Portable Ops Plus, or in this case a glorified drink coaster, since there's nothing really of substance here anymore, since the online features are kind of down for this one. Unless there's a way I doubt anyone plays this game anymore. So, this one's a glorified drink coaster. The Simpsons game, Star Wars Battlefront 2, although this is redundant because I have the far superior PS2 version and the even more superior PC version. Yeah, that's how I go back to play Battlefront, if I want to play it at all, is the PC version. Except for this one, Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, a PSP exclusive. Yep, one of the games I own physically. Along with What the Fuck, Work Time Fun. But, what the fuck is an accurate description for that game? For more better thoughts, go to part 1. Now, that's it for PSP games. Now, on to the original PlayStation. The final console of today's RetroArch Library showcase. Ironically, I have more games for this on my emulation for this console on my emulation library than my physical library. So, speaking of which, first game on the list, Armament Sarge's Heroes 1 and 2, Biohazard 1.5 or Resident Evil 1.5 if you're North American. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a really good fucking game. I still need to finish it though. I'm literally on the inverted castle part. Oof. Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VII, all 3 discs, Final Fantasy VIII, disc 1 only, GTA 1 and 2, Mega Man 8. My favorite series of the Mega Man titles. No, I'm serious. This one I actually like. The Legend series are games I wish got a goddamn actual conclusion. Fuck you, Capcom. Yeah, I'm still angry about that. Still angry about that. Like, over fucking God knows how long at this point. But I like this game because I like the Legend series because of the characterization. So, yeah, the characters do it for me. And the gameplay, too. Basically, it's like Legend of Zelda meets Mega Man. I mean, that's pretty cool. Speaking of, yeah, and I have Legends too. The damn game that had the damn cliffhanger. Yeah, I'm still salty about that. Ah, yes. The version of Metal Gear Solid that I'll always stick to. Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. I only stick to this one for the story. I have both discs of that. Metal Gear Solid VR missions. RE1. RE Director's Cut. DualShock version. Or as I like to call it, the one that has the shitty basement theme. Or as I like to call it, actually no, alternate title would be the horny basement theme because of all the horns that are used in the instrument for the instrumentation of it. Anyway, my favorite RE classic game, Resident Evil 2, 98. Yeah, I have to say 98 now because of the remake that was released in 2019. Overall, I like this one. Although, it's hard for me to decide which. I think I like the original more than the remake. Like, don't get me wrong, the remake isn't a bad game. And I'll give my thoughts. I'll give brief thoughts on the remake when I get to my PC library, which is actually the next part of this. So yeah, I have both discs. So far I've beaten Claire A, never Leon B. Yeah, Claire A, Leon B is canon. And there's evidence in Umbrella Chronicles, one of Ada's scenarios, the Ada scenario part. Yeah, where she escapes the lab that was seen in the B scenario of Leon's campaign, so that's evidence. It's canon. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Never actually played this one yet. Same thing goes for RE1. I've really only played out of the trilogy RE2. Spyro the Dragon, Star Wars Dark Forces, Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. Oh, this one's redundant. Yeah, I'm probably gonna tell it to fuck off. Tekken, Tetris Plus. A rare gem. The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. And actually, all the Legends games are fucking rare. Good luck trying to find physical copies of these. Ugh, gotta say that to myself, too, because one day, all these fucking emulated games, I plan on owning physically one day. I just need the goddamn money first. Tomb Raider, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. And that is it for my emulation slash RetroArch library. So now time to discuss my PC game library. That'll be happening in part 3.